finally freaking know who Edge is gonna face at WrestleMania. It's clear cut on this show, and outside of the basic tag team actions and just confusing booking decisions, this is a pretty nice show. Oh wait, that was the entire show? Dang. My name is Jordan Moser, and this is your SmackDown Recap and Review. First off in the night, we do have Edge, and a little promo he comes to say pretty much everything that he said in the past couple of weeks, is that he's evaluating the situation. He has opponents coming up. He's not making his decision until after Elimination Chamber. He's got 13 possible opponents. Count them now, 13, just between the two Elimination Chamber matches. So he's just staking that claim and making sure that he's not making that decision until then. This brings out Roman and his little family, Jey Uso and Paul Heyman as well, and he's slow, man. He's slow just getting to that ring, of course. I mean, he gets in, he's like, hey, Edge, I'm the only one that you should be worried about. I'm the true main eventer. For those 12, forget those 12 other guys. I'm the true one. And I think that's where Edge kind of gets in his head a little bit like, hey, you are so invested and so concerned with being the main event of WrestleMania. And that eats inside of you. He's just picking at his insecurities there a lot. And you can see it in Roman's face. He's just like, man, I want to hit him so bad, and that just leads to a tense stare down between the two. Really good stuff by Eggs, just picking at Roman like that. Now, that eventually brings out Sami Zayn, and he just comes talking about conspiracy theories and blathering and talking about how he should be the spotlight. He should have the spotlight just going into WrestleMania. Points at the WrestleMania sign and all that. He eventually eats a super kick from Jey Uso in a really awesome, just, I would say, babyface move, because that's what we usually want our babyface to do. Just kick him and leave, you know? Eventually, as Edge and Reigns are still staring down, he hands the title and the mic to Heyman, puts his hands behind his back, and just whispers to Edge what we can't audibly hear, and then just leaves the ring. This is a nice little segue into our main event, which comes on later in the show, which they were kind of involved in. But good stuff here. The electricity between these two was really the best thing on this show, and it just continued into the main event. So just really nice stuff from everybody involved here. Edge and Reigns are definitely yeah, they like that, you know, the electricity is awesome. So can't wait to see that, of course. Next up, we do have a match between Apollo Crews and Shinsuke Nakamura with Big E on commentary, who is the best. He had his little couch set up, little TV dinner. He had the feet warmers. He said Quagmire on commentary. He's the best. He's just the best. But we did have a match in the ring. Didn't get too much in before the commercial break, where Crews throws Nakamura to the outside and onto Big E, onto his TV dinner and his couch and all that, as we just went into the commercial break. We come back. Crews is pretty much in control, but Nakamura does come back just with some solid kicks, just that striking action. Of course, eventually the end of the match comes out of nowhere. Nakamura transitions into what looks like an armbar, but he traps that arm in the leg as well and gets the pin for the 1-2-3, and Crews is furious. He attacks right after the match. Finally, the heel turn that was needed to kind of jumpstart Crews a little bit. He eventually tries to attack Nakamura outside the ring with the steel steps, and Big E interferes. He's like, nah, man, we're not going to do that here. Leave, bro, leave. Put it down, drop him, and leave. Kind of talking down to him like a dad would talk down to his son when he's done something wrong. But Crews wasn't having it. After Big E turns his back, he attacks him with the steel steps. Eventually, as he's still laying outside the ring, Big E's still laying outside the ring, Crews in the ring just throws down the steel steps onto Big E. Presumably, it was out of frame, but throws down the steel steps onto Big E, and he is just carried out on a stretcher. He's locked up and everything, and just gotten into the ambulance a little bit later in the show. But this was really what it needed to be, honestly. Really nothing match between Crews and Nakamura, but definitely the Crews heel turn was needed. It's been just projected over the past couple of weeks and months, and it finally came to fruition here. Big E is probably one of the most entertaining things about WWE at the moment. His stuff on commentary is dope, but him just in this serious form, just like talking down to Crews the way that he was, is just awesome. And I know that when he comes back, I think the match between Big E and Apollo is going to be something special. I can't wait for that. But just good stuff all around. Nothing match, but good character work from Big E and Apollo Crews involved. Next up after the break, we have Seth Rollins. He comes out on the stage and pretty much just recaps last week. He's showing the video footage from last week and all, where nobody was just embracing the vision of Seth Rollins. And he pretty much talks about that. He says he's filing a lawsuit against WWE for that exact reason, and just everybody leaving him and his return to WWE pretty much sucking. And during this, he just continues to call out Cesaro as he patronized him and disrespected him last week as well, and just getting under Rollins' skin a little bit more. He blathers about the millions and the millions and the millions of people who are embracing the vision, and he thinks Cesaro is a loser for not going about that and not just being along with that. And so he just calls everybody watching to just embrace the vision, y'all, and embrace the vision. Embrace the vision. Honestly, I don't know what to think about this. I really liked heel Rollins a lot early on, but this is a little not fresh. It's something that we've continued to see from him for the better part of last year. Even though it's just a new slogan, it's pretty much the same spewing of nonsense for the most part. I think a feud with Cesaro can be cool, but I need something to be shaken up in Rollins' character a little bit more. Give him something fresh to do, give him something fresh to talk about mostly. So yeah, looking forward to the feud with Cesaro, but not really caring about anything that he said here at all, really. Also wanted to touch just on a couple backstage segments we have with Edge. Pretty much just talking with some of the competitors in the Elimination Chamber match on Sunday. Had just really nice conversations with Kevin Owens, Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, just talking about, oh, it would be an honor to face you at WrestleMania. And, you know, with Daniel Bryan, this match could have happened like 10 years ago and it never happened. So it's a long overdue. That's what they were kind of discussing as well. Even with King Corbin, just Edge just trying to be funny, pretty much, just making fun of Corbin's $10,000 suit and $39,000 watch. Pretty okay stuff. But all in all, just good interactions from them backstage. Of course, they're playing up the considerations of all four of them facing Edge at WrestleMania as well. So definitely wanted to harp on that for WWE's sake. But yeah, just okay stuff all around from these backstage segments as well. Next up, we do have a tag team match between Tamina and Natalya against the Riot Squad, Ruby Riot and Liv Morgan. Tamina was pretty much dominant at first until Riot Squad started to come back with just their double team moves, just working together, teamwork, y'all. This eventually does bring out Billie Kay, and she is wearing a Tamina shirt. She is firmly on the side of Tamina during this match, and that kind of benefits Tamina in the long run. She eventually gets rid of everybody, wins with a spinning side slam for the 1, 2, 3. And the win. Billie Kay gets in the ring. She's excited. She's running around. She's like, yeah, go team. She lifts up both Tamina and Natalya's hands and gets a slap and a super kick for her troubles, as the winning team just ends up posing by themselves and just leaving the ring, leaving the Riot Squad kind of distraught on the outside. This was short. This was really nothing. I'm really wondering what direction this is kind of going in. It's just like spinning in its track. I love Billie Kay's just like character work and stuff like that, but it's been going on for like 2-3 months now. I'm just waiting for something to kind of work in her favor and for an end game to kind of be realized for the most part. But all in all, this is really nothing. Honestly, I have no other words about it, to be honest. Next up, we have a ding dong, a hello, Bailey's talk show with guests Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, SmackDown Tag Team Champions. We see them try to come out. They both try to go through the door at the same time for whatever reason, just because, I don't know, dumb in the head. But we do just pretty much to see the heels at first, all three of them, just talking down Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, trying to pretty much debate which one of them is worse for the most part. This eventually brings out Reginald, of all people, and Reginald is pretty much just like, hey, you're not going to talk down on Sasha Banks. She's one of the best champions in the world, if not the best, y'all. Come on, don't talk down on my girl, which was pretty weird that we didn't see him with Carmella in any way, honestly. This eventually brings out Sasha Banks, and she's here to just stake her claim. She says she owns this place. She runs the rules. She does all that, and that eventually brings out a Bianca Belair, who was like, hey, Sasha, like, you cool and all, like, you all right, but I'm the star of this division. I won the Royal Rumble, and now it's my time to go ahead to WrestleMania and to win some championships of my own so I can be the star of this division. And Reginald, as everybody's pretty much bigger, Reginald's just like, hey, bro, hey, they're the ones that's making fun of y'all. Like, we're on the same team, y'all. We should team up, and we should fight them. 6-man tag. And Nia Jax agrees. She's like, yeah, bet, let's do it. Get a referee out here. Let's go. And they just all bicker going into the commercial break. Coming back from break, and the six-man tag kicks off. We see Sasha and Bianca at first just having control of Shayna, but eventually take their eyes off the prize and they continue to bicker, them and Reginald kind of included. And we see Shayna get Nia into the match. She just comes in and dominates for a good amount of time. Sasha is the one just being worked over. Eventually she wriggles free, gets Reginald into the match, and he comes in and it's not working for him because he got to go up against Nia Jackson, and that won't work. And he was just getting dominated for a good amount of time. Eventually, Nia tries to go for attack to Shayna on the apron, but she's just taken off and beat down by Belair and Banks. Eventually, at the end of this match, we see Reginald go for a move. He's just caught. Nia turns around, and there are double drop kicks by both Belair and Banks to help turn Reginald into that crossbody. 1, 2, 3. The winner is Reginald. He pins Nia Jax to just get the win for his team, just getting the win for the night. Yeah, I don't know what to say about this. The match itself wasn't really impressive in any way. Reginald getting the pin is even more mind-blowing to me because he has no stake in this whatsoever. Like, unless this, I don't know what this is leading to. Like, is this some partnership? Is he breaking up with Carmella? I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, this is just really interesting, even weirder that Reginald got the pin. And then we actually see that Sasha and Bianca get a tag team title match against Nia and Shayna, even though they didn't pin either one of them. Like, make it make sense. I don't know. I'm looking forward to that match. We'll see what happens, but this is just really weird stuff and still not a very impressive match all around either. So there you go. Next up, we do have a tag team match between the Mysterios, Rey and Dominic Mysterio, against Alpha Academy, Chad Gable and Otis, with the Dirty Dogs on commentary, but they didn't really do anything. This was pretty short stuff. I don't really remember anything that happened before the end of the match. We do see Otis eventually get into the match and just begins to dominate. He hits a splash on Rey Mysterio as Chad Gable just kind of egging him on. He hits another splash, and apparently Gable was in the ring more than the 5 count from the referee, so she threw out the match for disqualification. Otis don't care. He hits another splash, really hurts Rey Mysterio at that point. He's just aching at his ribs and all that. Eventually goes up to the second rope and hits another splash as well, and Gable's just kind of egging him on while Otis just looks manic and just looks hungry in the face, you know. Yeah, this was an odd development. I don't really understand the idea behind turning Otis any sort of heel in any way. He's really one of the most likable guys on the roster that we've seen. It just oozes charisma and just babyface tendencies, you know. The decision to turn him heel is not gonna benefit anybody, I don't think, in the long run. If you're making like happy heels, kind of like Kurt Angle was to an extent with Gable and Otis, I can maybe see that, but at the same time, they are easily one of the best baby faces that you do have if you just let them work. So this is a really strange development and strange booking decision. I don't know why. We'll continue to see how this kind of progresses, but yeah, just really odd to me. Last up in our main event, we do have the 6-man tag team match with the members of the Elimination Chamber match coming Sunday. We got Kevin Owens, Cesaro, and Daniel Bryan versus King Corbin, Sami Zayn, and Jey Uso. Bryan starts off and he's just getting worked over a lot early just by Sami Zayn and King Corbin and Jey Uso as well. But eventually Corbin and Zayn just start the bickering. That allows Cesaro to get in. He just comes in with the uppercut train on Sami Zayn for a minute and just hits a couple swings on him and Corbin as we go into the commercial break. Coming back from break, and Cesaro is still in control, still a swinging on King Corbin. He eventually tries to go for that sharpshooter, but is pulled outside the ring and thrown over the announcer table by Jey Uso, and that allows that team to kind of get control of Cesaro for the time being. He eventually does come back, hit a nice springboard uppercut from the middle rope, and tags Bryan into the match, and he comes in a flying boy, just with the clotheslines, hits a nice hurricanrana off the top rope as well, only for a 2 count that's broken up by Jey Uso. Eventually, Owens gets rid of Uso from the ring, and in the same vein, Cesaro gets rid of Corbin as well. And as we see the end of this match come, as Bryan and Zayn are battling on the top rope, Bryan gets him in that butterfly suplex position, hits it off the top rope, and eventually transitions with that arm into the yes lock for the tap out from Sami Zayn, and just a submission victory for the babyface team to end the night. Baron Corbin does attack after the match. He hits the end of days as well as everybody comes in and kind of hits their big moves as customary going into a multi-man match on a pay-per-view, of course. But we do see the end of this come as Jey Uso hits his super kick. Edge comes off of commentary. You forgot it was on commentary, right? For a spear on Jey Uso. And then we see out of nowhere Roman just come in for a spear on Edge. And he knocks him down and he's just posing with the title to end the show. This is pretty good stuff in terms of just angling wise, just from the main event. Really generic match for the most part. It's not action that we haven't seen before, but pretty good from all 6 guys involved. Of course, everybody hitting their move on each other's spot, which usually happens in like matches and multi-man matches and stuff like that. It's customary, of course. But I'm telling you, the heat between Roman and Edge just came to light on this show, and now it's pretty clear that Edge is going to be the one choosing Roman if he wins, of course, to face at WrestleMania for the Universal Championship. It's pretty much set in stone at this point, and I'm loving it. I think this is the best opponent that Edge can have as just a very natural babyface that he is. He needs someone like Roman to go up against. Will he topple him? I have no clue. But I'm just looking forward to the story that they're going to continue to tell with the next couple weeks that they have, about just 6 weeks until WrestleMania, and I'm looking forward to what they continue to do with that story. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. Definitely a good angle to end the show on, and definitely a good way to just sprint towards Elimination Chamber, of course. And that's it from SmackDown. I'm just left confused. Like, that was a weird show. The only things that I will take fondly from it is the stuff between Edge and Roman, and then the Apollo Crews heel turn. Like, that is all that I'll remember from this show. It was pretty much marred and bogged down just by weird tag team action, both on the men's and the women's side, that didn't really amount to anything or really have any direction. Even baffling booking decisions like the turning heel of Otis, who is one of the most natural baby faces that we've seen in a minute if you would just book them correctly. There's just weird stuff going on, weird decisions, and I didn't really understand a lot of their direction just going into this show. The stuff between Roman and Edge is great, and definitely Apollo needed that heel turn to kind of jumpstart his character, and Big E is always doing the best and he's doing the most, which I love, but everything else on this show was just kind of pulling it down a little bit. So just a weird show for SmackDown, but we're going into Elimination Chamber now, and that's where things will change and I think really kick off for this road to WrestleMania. So looking forward to that on Sunday, but that is going to be it from me. Continue to see videos throughout the week and such, but I'm out. Peace, y'all. Enjoy Elimination Chamber. Enjoy your weekend and your Saturdays and your Sundays and all that. Be easy, y'all.